and I got a $15,000 bill in the mail.
Jordan Green-Ellis.
Jordan Green-Ellis.
Mr. Jordan Green-Ellis.
Mr. Green-Ellis.
Jordan Green-Ellis.
I know you may not feel like it, but your feelings are temporary, and sometimes they may not be telling you the truth about who you are. In fact, most times they aren't telling you the truth about who you are. You may feel like you come from the wrong side of the tracks or the wrong neighborhood, or maybe the unlikely is okay. When I was in college, I couldn't afford books, but now I write books for college students. Here's the reason why we had this conversation. This is an original quote. Everything that you commit to, you will accomplish. Choose wisely and choose early. Okay? Everything you commit to, you will accomplish. If you believe that, I want to challenge you to make a commitment to whatever your dreams and goals are. Career-wise, family-wise, whatever. Right? Choose wisely and choose early. Remember how I said right here, I said everything that you commit to? Key word right there is everything. Everything. Okay? That's not just your goals, but it's also your friend group. Right? So like you guys are growing up, y'all getting ready to go to high school, y'all getting ready to go to 8th grade, right? It's some people that you may hang around or kick it with or whatever that you may not, you need to be kicking it with them, okay? You learn it the hard way. Everybody has to learn one way, okay, or the other, okay? So this is what I mean when I say what you commit to, who you commit to. Don't be giving your time every old where, every old place, okay? But especially with your dreams, with what you want to do career-wise. It's going to be, look at me, it's going to be very hard for someone to convince you out of something that you know you want. Does that make sense? No. All right, if I know I want to buy a red Porsche, okay? If I know in my mind, I've been dreaming about this red Porsche, I done wrote it on my vision board for 5 years straight, I know that I want this, I got the money to buy it, nobody's going to be able to convince me to buy something else. Or buy something less. You see what I'm saying? This is why I want you guys to make a commitment to your dreams and your career goals today. Right? Entrepreneurship, okay, great. Let's rock out. Let's figure out a plan. But we got to make a plan for it, because when we don't choose what we want, what happens is sometimes we see other things and other people, right? We see other flashy things and other people who we think are successful, and we say to ourselves, man, I want to be like that, not knowing what it took for them to get to that point in their lives. So don't make that mistake. Look at me. Don't make that mistake. I want you to figure out what it is that you want early on, like now. Sometimes that may change. It's okay. What do you guys, well, let me tell you this. I didn't necessarily know that I wanted to do this when I was your age, okay? And so that changed, and that's okay. If your plans change, it's okay. Just be adaptable with the change. Just be willing to adapt with the change. And that's perfectly fine. But either way, at the end of the day, you have to commit to whatever it is that you're going to do. Does that make sense? Questions? All right. We're going to talk quickly about how to choose the right career. Okay? We're going to go through this quickly, how to choose the right career. Here's some questions that you want to ask yourself. Does this career, does this job, does it offer me financial stability? What's financial stability mean? Go ahead, Michaela. Expound a little bit more. Money, you're on the right path. Help her out, Logan. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Money that helps you
be stable, right? Enough money to stabilize your lifestyle. Do you live where you want to live? Can you move if you have to move, right? Right? Do you have enough money to go on a vacation? Can you drive what you want to drive? Do you have a reliable means of transportation? Is your environment safe? Right? All of these things require money. And so you want to choose a career that's going to afford you the amount of money that will give you a lifestyle that you want. Okay? Now, sometimes we have to build up to that. Okay? We should all have a life that we want, but sometimes we have to build up to that financially. But in order to build up to that, you got to have the money. And that's another reason why I caution entrepreneurs, right? You not only have to be good at what you do, I mean really good at what you do, but you also have to get in front of people. They need to also know how good you are and trust you to give them your money. Give you their money. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So like if you do hair and you good at it, but nobody knows, you ain't going to be doing nobody hair and you ain't going to have no money. right? If you sell houses, real estate, right, and you're good at it, but nobody knows you sell houses, it's going to be hard for you to sell houses. Okay? So you want to be considerate that. Is this career going to give you financial stability? Here we go. Next question that we ask. Does this career fulfill a passion for you? What does that mean? Do you love it? Say it again. Are you happy? Here's a good question that you want to ask yourself when you're talking about passion. Could you do it and love it and not get paid for it? Could you do it, love it, and not get paid for it? If you can't do it, no, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get paid for it. I'm saying, could you do this just because you love doing it? Like what I'm doing right now, I could do this and not get paid for it. I've done it for a long time. And there are many times where I didn't get paid for it. I see you making that face. I feel you. But here's the thing. That's fair. That's fair, right? Like you can always choose not to do it. Like you can choose not to do certain things, right? But if you're building your business, especially when you're first starting off, it'd be to your advantage to do some things for free. It would be to your advantage. So it can do what? It can build your reputation. You got to do a good job though. Okay? Now, does it fulfill a passion for you? This fulfills a passion for me. Y'all know I wrote a book, right? Okay, I wrote a book about what? Do y'all know what it's about? It's about how to decrease student loan debt when you go to college. Y'all know why I wrote that book? Say it again. So people can learn. That's it. But even more than that, my mother told me that she used her retirement to put me through college. Mm-hmm. To put me and my brother through college. And I had to borrow student loans. Okay? So this is a passion for me because I know the student loan game now. I know the financial aid game because I worked in financial aid. And no family needs to do it. Okay? They need strategy though. That's why I put it in the book. Say it again. Yep. We'll talk about that in one moment. All right? Does it fulfill a passion? Is there opportunity to grow and scale? What do I mean by that, grow and scale? What does that mean? What do you think it means? Become better? Say it again. Fair? Okay. Now, this one I'm specifically talking about money. Remember how I told you my wife is getting a master's? She's a teacher right now. But she's going to scale in her industry, meaning she's going to get a higher position. And in turn, higher positions usually mean more what? More money. So you need to know if in your career, if at your job, it's going to give you the ability to make more money. Because you don't want to make the same amount of money for the rest of your life. You generally want to make more. Okay? Especially for my entrepreneurially minded people, you're going to want to make more money. So is there opportunity to grow and scale? Here we go. How will this career impact your physical and mental health? Okay? This is something that you think about, right? Is this career going to be physically taxing on your body? Like all of y'all that's talking about cosmetology, you're going to be engaging on a regular basis, right? Right? Are you going to be able to take care of your body, right? My father was a steam fitter and a plumber for over 40 years. Very physically taxing on his body. He actually broke his back in 2000 because when he was at work, right? Very physically taxing on the body. And so you have to consider those things. Even if you go to a job or have a career that is a little bit more taxing in an area first starting off, you can always pivot. You can always change. All right? But mental health is something always to consider, right? What's mental health? Anaya, what's mental health? What do you think it means? No, what do you think it means? It's okay.
Like how you are you happy? Like
Right. Right. Mentally. How are you doing mentally when you're at the particular job? Okay? Everybody's going to have challenges that you'll go through. But how you, say it again? Like frustration, stress, anxiety, all of that type of stuff, right? But the key is at that job, do you have the tools within yourself to navigate through that, right? Like as an entrepreneur, I can't count on anybody else but me to make money, right? One of the stressors that comes with my job is when people don't pay me on time. You see what I'm saying? I got 2 kids. I'm married. You see what I'm saying? I got stuff to take care of. And so that's something that I'll have to deal with. You're going to always have to deal with something. The point is that you learn how to deal with it. Now, if it becomes too much in your career, my suggestion is that you figure out something else to do that's not mentally taxing on you, okay? You may have confrontation with your coworkers or your boss or a client from my entrepreneurial people in here, right? But you got to learn how to navigate through that. You can't burn your bridge, okay? You can't burn your bridge just because something didn't go right. Now, if you're in a toxic work environment, what do you think you should do? What does toxic mean? Not good, bad, frustrating, just ugly, right? If you're in a toxic work environment, what should you do, Jamia? What should you do if you're in a toxic work environment? Leave. Okay? But you can't, if you're an adult, right, you got responsibilities, you can't just get up and go, right? Unless it's that egregious. But what would you do? You would plan your exit. Okay? You would plan for what you're going to do next. And then the last thing, does this career offer benefits? What's benefits? Say it again. It could benefit you. It could help you. All right, give me some examples of a benefit that a job may give you. More money? Not better credit score, but keep going. When y'all go to the doctor, right? When y'all go to the doctor to get y'all physicals and you check in, you got to give a copay, right? Y'all know what a copay is? All right. When y'all go to the doctors, it costs money. Did y'all know that? You don't just go, huh? It costs somebody, okay? So yes, you may or may not have to pay your own copay, but some other entity is going to be paying for it, okay? So there's a thing called, exactly. Say it again. Health insurance, okay? Health insurance. And so health insurance is a benefit that many jobs offer, or certain jobs offer. I told this story the last class. I had some blood work done a couple of weeks ago. And the laboratory that drew my blood made a mistake in how they, not when they were doing the procedure, but they made a mistake in how they put it in the system, okay? They didn't basically couple it with my insurance, okay? And I got a $15,000 bill in the mail, okay? Thousand. You heard me exactly correct. So here's the thing. If I did not have health insurance, I would have had to pay it. I would have had to pay it if I didn't have health insurance. But because I do, right, my health insurance paid for it. So this is an extreme benefit. You don't ever want to have an emergency or go to the doctors or need something done, and you can't do it because it costs too much. So this is something that you want to consider when you are getting into a career. Even if eventually you want to start, like even as an entrepreneur, right? You want to have your own health insurance benefits. My name is Jordan Green-Ellis, and I'm your debt-free degree coach, but who I am is not nearly as important as what I'm about to say. This is Kamaya Tynes, one of the students that I've recently worked with, who is a college freshman and on her way to a degree without debt. She actually goes to one of the most expensive schools in her state. It's over $60,000 a year, and she's getting paid to go to school. Why? Because she had the right information. The question isn't whether or not you can pay the bill. So I don't want you to worry, parents, because I know you're thinking about how that premium price is going to get paid. Y'all, your kid has got a dream school and they got accepted into it, but you're wondering, man, what do I have to do to make sure that this bill is covered? Because I don't want my kid to ruin themselves financially. You and many others have this question, but you don't have the answer. The answer is in the information, y'all. You got to know how to get it done. Just like Kamaya and Antonio and Desiree and many other families that I work with just like yours, the how is in the information, y'all. So I want to encourage you to get the information. If you're wondering of how to foot the bill, if you're wondering if whether or not you're going to have to take drastic measures like my parents did, who actually took money from their retirement to put their baby boy through college, and it still wasn't enough. I still had to borrow over $30,000 of student loans. If you're wondering how to avoid all drastic situations, then I want to encourage you to look no further and come get the answers to your questions at my upcoming boot camp, y'all. I'm going to give you all the information that I give to my families one-on-one in one day. I've come up with a formula. I've come up with a curriculum to be able to give you so that you don't have to depend on anyone else. One of the greatest pitfalls that I see in college preparation is that families think that they have time. Families think that the money's just going to pop up. Families think that the school they're getting ready to send their kid to is going to help them pay for it. And the truth is, y'all, they're not going to help you. I want to encourage you to get to my upcoming boot camp this month. It is the Degree with No Debt College Boot Camp, and I promise you it'll be the best investment that you make this year. Why? Because you're going to get so much of a return on this investment. You're going to be like, I should have paid 20 times as much as I paid for it. There are 2 ways that you can join this boot camp. There's general admission, which is $50, and you'll be able to join this boot camp and get all the information that you need. And honestly, this would be good enough. But if you want to take it a step further, if you want to enhance your experience, I want to encourage you to join the VIP experience. The VIP experience comes with admission to the boot camp, as well as 2 of my books for free, as well as a scholarship list for free, as well as a private Q&A session for free. And the last bonus is absolutely crazy, but I'm going to do it anyway, y'all. You'll get a month free in my private community called Caps and Gowns University. And it's just basically like the boot camp on steroids, y'all. It's so much more information. It's a community of people that are learning and growing just like you on their way to a debt-free degree. So I want to encourage you to sign up so that you can get the right information. Yes, it's going to be a lot, but you'll have access to the replay for a limited time. You'll be able to have what you need, y'all. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to my team at cgu@jordangreenellis.com. I am signing out, y'all. But I'll see you at the boot camp.